Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hello, thank you for watching my videos. It's March 14th, 2009. Don't panic, Reinhardt has predicted the next collapse begins tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow's Sunday, so I guess he means Monday. Or that an event that takes place tomorrow has an impact on the markets on Monday morning. Now, I've been staying away from the Reinhardt thing because basically, whenever I look at his website and stuff that's on there, it just basically drives me nuts. I'm trying to understand and trying to work out what it is he's talking about. Because he still has some stuff out on the public page, but apparently the private pages on there, I don't know, I'm not a subscriber, the private pages are contain sort of the same sort of stuff, but a little more clear. So you still have to work out cryptically what's going on, as far as I understand it anyway. But anyway, so Reinhardt, basically, his latest prediction has been that March 15th, Ides of March, will trigger something, and it will begin March 16th. Now, what's been going on? Okay, now this weekend we have the G20 finance ministers meeting, trying to work out some kind of deal for international monetary systems, things like that. Bumping up the IMF, bumping up the World Bank, making them stronger, bumping up this financial stability forum. Also this weekend, Angela Merkel and Gordon Brown are shacked up together at Chequers. I don't know what they're discussing, but basically they're trying to work out the differences between how Germany does things and how the UK does things within Europe to get a kind of unified approach from the European side. What else is going on? Vienna, OPEC is meeting. The oil-producing economies, whatever, can't remember what the OPEC stands for, are meeting on Sunday, tomorrow, to work out what are they going to do about the price of oil. Can they do anything? So can they get agreements to cut production, for instance, from Iran? Now, I've linked a lot of this over here, but one of the things that was sent to me this weekend was a link to a Wall Street Journal blog page. Now, on this page, in the comments section of each of the blog entries that they do, there's this guy that's always replying. He uses different names every time. But basically, they're on Wired Pirate, they're calling him Oz. Now, we're not sure if Oz is Reinhardt. But the way he's doing things and wording things, it looks a lot like how Reinhardt would talk. So we're thinking that Oz is Reinhardt, but it might not be. Anyway, so Oz is pointing at treasuries. Something's going to trip up the treasuries. Basically, the Fed, the U.S. Treasury Department, will be releasing a document on the number of outstanding treasuries and where they are and who's got them and so forth. And he's been pointing at his finger at a sudden decline in the number of outstanding treasuries held by foreign governments. So what else has been going on? Well, on Friday, it was published in the Federal Record, the Federal Register, sorry, of the United States. A presidential document. Basically, the President Obama, has signed the continuation of the sanctions against Iran because of the nuclear proliferation nonsense. Now, Iran didn't take this very well. The Iranian president, Mahmoud Ahmad, I can't say that. Marta, help me! Marta from News. Mahmoud Ahmadabad. You have to sing it so it sounds good. Mahmoud Ahmadabad. If you just say like this, maybe. I'm lousy with names, I'm sorry. Anyway, so the Iranian president basically has dismissed the international sanctions against the country, calling it a mistake and a childish idea. Now, why is the States rattling Iran's cage again? Why are they doing this? Okay, for your consideration, I've included a link to Eurasia Insight, and basically an article there, Iran looking for ways to change Tehran's cost-benefit analysis on the nuclear issue, and in there they reference a document from the Washington Institute called Preventing a Cascade of Instability, UN engagement to check Iranian nuclear progress. And basically this article is saying Okay, so one of the authors of the article alleged that Iran already possessed a sufficient quantity of uranium to potentially produce up to 50 atomic weapons. Okay, so they're setting it up. Why are they doing this? Right, next article. Everything's just going crazy here. The states and China are battling away. The states are now sending off a destroyer to the South China Sea to rattle their cage. Why? Announced today, Iran and China sign a $3.2 billion gas deal. Iran will be providing natural gas to China. In return, China will be developing an oil field and a gas field there. Because of the presidential sanctions, U.S. gas companies, oil companies, aren't allowed to work in Iran. But Iran has signed up a deal with China. Do you know what they were trying to listen to on the surveillance ship, I wonder? What else has Iran done? They didn't sign it up to $3.3 billion. If you look at the title on that first one, it says $3.2 billion. The second article I've linked here, Iran and China sign 2.6 billion euro gas deal. And of course, Iran and China, subheadline, have signed a 2.6 billion euro, bracket $3.3 billion deal to produce liquefied natural gas. So, the Chinese are now taking their money, and instead of putting all of it into U.S. treasuries, U.S. bonds, they're putting it into European bonds. And they're taking that money that they're getting from Europe, and they're going to buy the oil and the gas from Iran and Russia. And they're going to do it in euros, not dollars. Now, can they do this? The Iranian oil bourse opened up a year ago that effectively lets Iran trade oil and gas in currencies other than the US dollar. They still, of course, take the US dollar, but they'll also take euros, rubles, yen, renminbi, whatever. This is really seriously starting to tick off the states, because this is what is going to be a trigger for the treasuries to not be sold. It's all coming together. It's all happening around this weekend. It's going to be a big mess. Now, of course, the other thing, Iran has also signed a deal with Denmark and Italy to produce, to develop the country's petrochemical industry for 1.2 billion euros. That was on Thursday. If there's something rather odd in the report on the treasuries on Monday, this could very quickly trigger a drop in the US dollar value as investors move their money to other currencies like the euro or the yen. Linked an article: Is a global foreign exchange war possible? This is from Global Forex Trading in the States. And basically, one thing that's happened is Switzerland has broken the rules a bit and is now letting the market determine what's happening with their currency, and they're actually letting their currency drop against other currencies. So it's starting to get a little weird out there. Okay, so what does this all lead up to? Reinhardt's predicting that Monday something dramatic will happen in the stock markets. I don't know exactly. I'm not privy to that information. I'm sure subscribers of his have a much clearer idea as to why and what to do with it and what they should be long in and short in and all that nonsense. I'm not an investor, so it makes hardly any difference to me. However, this can have an impact in the real economy, the real world out here where we live. And I've linked an article, What if the EU fractures, China stagnates, or the US economy worsens? And this is sort of a worst case scenario of where things will go. So people, be ready, prepared. I'm not saying it's going to happen like that. I'm not saying, you know, the dollar is just going to collapse overnight. But something big is about to happen And all of these signs, all of this fear is building up to a single thing. And the fear is palatable and easily witnessed. I bet you didn't know the Alabama things. It appears that the Alabama shootings were a result of this chap having difficulty at work. And he used to work at a chicken plant, chicken farm factory, where he was bullied a lot. And eventually, after a while, he snapped. And they're just not putting that out. So I've linked an article. So the fear is out there. The fear is growing so strong now. You're being bombarded on all sides with this. And it's causing people to trip. It's the perfect time for a change. So get ready. Be prepared. Okay, sorry, it was a bit long-winded. I wanted to make sure all the concepts were in there. Okay, peace, love, understanding. Think about things. And I will speak to you later. Bye.